Hare Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Yadasatarine. Mukam Karati Vachalam Pagolangayate Girim Yakrapa Tamaham Vande Swiguru Dinatarinam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyashcha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashri Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare. So tonight is the last night. Talk about the holy name. You have any questions? I'm waiting for more people to come.
Yeah, today we have less audience.
No, people will come.
So I want to do another japa session, but I'd rather wait. Yeah. I mean, I could explain about how I want to do the next session, but the people that need to hear it are not here now. So what if we do some questions?
So, Prabhu, can you explain about this book, The Living Wisdom, and other books which you have?
Yeah.
So people know a little bit about the books.
So I have 2 volumes, Living the Wisdom of Bhakti. So the idea is, in Vaishnavism, they have what's called a padati. Padati means a step-by-step process to do something. Like how do you do deity worship? How do you do anything? So this is kind of like a padati of bhakti. In other words, in the bhakti scriptures, it will tell you many things you should do, but not exactly always how to do it. Like we should be tolerant, we should control our anger, we should be forgiving, we should be patient, and we should be enthusiastic. But what does that look like in life? How do you practice it? How do you get that information from your head into your heart, where you not only understand it, but you're able to live it? So that's why we call it living the wisdom of bhakti. So you get it, and then you live it. So I may understand so many things, but I don't live it because I don't know how to translate it into. I'm not a tolerant person. Krishna says be tolerant. How do you do that? What does that even mean? Practically speaking. So we look at many topics and we analyze them in a way that you can practice. And then most chapters have exercises where you can answer questions that would enable you to understand more how this applies to you. I should forgive. How do I do that? I don't know. Or I don't even know why I should forgive. I don't even know what forgiveness really means. So like that, humility. What does humility look like on a day-to-day basis? A lot of people say, you can't be humble. If you're humble, people take advantage of you. Yeah. But at the same time, humility is the essence. You can't go back to Godhead if you're not humble. So how do you understand it? And what does humility look like? And often it looks much different than you think. Yeah, and it's often a state of consciousness and sometimes your external actions may not look humble, like Arjuna's killing, and that's his humility, because Krishna asked him to do it. So if I ask you to kill and you're humble to me, you kill. If I ask you to kill and you say, no, I won't, you're not humble to me, you're proud. So Arjuna was proud. No, Krishna, I know what's better than you know. And Krishna says, no, fight this battle. I don't want to. I have reasons not to. So it looks like he's being humble, but we misunderstand humility. It wasn't being humble until he fought. So things like that, so what would humility look like in your life? I mean, let's look at the chapters. This is the second volume.
The first one is the red one?
What?
The first one is the red one?
Yeah, first one is the red one. When I read the introduction, some of it. This book doesn't just focus on learning something. Its main focus is on becoming something. Sure, you will find verses, quotations, and stories from scriptures here, and you will learn new things, but knowledge is not power. It's the implementation of knowledge that is power. So my purpose is to help you better live the teachings of bhakti. So that's why we called it living the wisdom. When you know something, it seems like you're living it because you know it. But if you analyze, everything you know is not everything you live. You just you know how to do it. Like, I know how to become a millionaire, but I don't have any money in the bank. It's like I've read all the books on how to be a millionaire, so I know. But if I were to say I truly know it, then I would say I applied it and now I'm a millionaire, because you wouldn't really believe me. It's like sometimes they say, what do they say? Like winners do and losers teach. Something like that. People who do it. People who can't teach it. Something like that. If you read this book, reflect, and do the exercises it recommends, you will find it easier to do what you may not be doing that you know you should be doing. You will also find it easier to change your life in general, to make it the way it should be, not the way it happens to be. So part of what this book does, or maybe one of the main things it does, is it helps you. So when you read something, you say, oh, that's good. I like that. I should be like that. And then you don't have the impetus to be that way. And so how do we get ourselves to do what we know we should do? So you read something, yeah, this is good. I should do this. But I find it difficult to do, right? So I don't do it. So to try to help you embody more, not even doing it, but ultimately embodying it. So it's just how you are. So if we're teaching tolerance, we like to teach it in the way you embody it. So you just become tolerant. It's not like a teaching anymore. It's just who you are. That's the idea. To me, the perfection of the life of a devotee is that they embody everything that Prabhupada's teaching. So just by being with them is like reading Prabhupada's books. And one thing that I've seen is that if we don't do that, but we teach it, it confuses people. Because you're saying one thing, but they don't see devotees doing it. And so it's hard to take seriously that I should do something if nobody's doing it, just because somebody says I should. And generally, we'll do what everybody does. We will do what everybody does, not what everybody says. Because what everybody does is the culture. So that's a big problem. But just thinking, what is the perfection of my action? The perfection of my action is that I embody the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. That's like I personify that, like I'm a living example. That would be the perfection of my understanding of the Gita and Bhagavatam. Now, people would understand what the Gita and Bhagavatam is if they just hang out with me. Like someone insults me and I say, did I ever do anything to hurt you? No, you're just an idiot. I hate your ugly face. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right, I am an idiot. And like, wow, look at how he's acting. That nobody acts like that. Like what's going on? Well, humility is the first item of knowledge. If you're not humble, you can't learn. This person's teaching me how to be tolerant, so I'm learning from him. Like, wow. So that's the idea. Yeah. When I decided to more deeply put into practice Srila Prabhupada's teachings, I realized how theoretical my understanding of Krishna consciousness was. As I tried to live Krishna consciousness more genuinely, I saw more clearly how much I wasn't living it. Like sometimes you don't try deeply enough to follow something and you kind of feel good because you think you're following it because you're not trying. Like if you're doing something and I say, you could do better, and you say, no, I'm fine. And no, do it like this. Then you realize you're not doing it well. It doesn't feel good. I'd rather just think I'm fine. As I started to live Krishna consciousness more genuinely, I saw clearly how much I wasn't living it. My writing looks at this reality based on my own practice. As one devotee told me, don't teach it if you don't follow it. I didn't write about it unless I was the guinea pig. So let's look at what the chapters are. No one can help you like you can. That's about. It's probably about making excuses and feeling like a victim when actually you're your best ally. The cause of the problem, that's kind of ourself as the cause. What your internal alarm clock, that's how to get up early in the morning, by setting the Paramatma, telling Paramatma the time you want to get up. And then he wakes you up. I don't know everything by the titles. What to pray for, how Krishna reciprocates, surrender to surrender. Surrender to the process of surrender. What is Guru? Part 1, 2, and 3. Integration, how to balance opposites. I want to be humble, but I like being honored. I want to be renounced, but I'm very attached. Balancing dependence and independence. I'm depending on my Guru, but I need to be independent and not codependent. So how does that work? Balance between effort and mercy. How much effort, how much mercy? So I need to make an effort. Is it all mercy? Balancing feelings of unworthiness, because the devotee is supposed to feel unworthy, but if you feel unworthy in an unhealthy way, then you become depressed. Balancing taste and sense gratification. So that's a chapter on balance. Then we have section 4, which is a mini japa course, like you do at home. And then We have a section on marriage. Then we have a section on spiritual self-development. How to change, that's for New Year's resolutions. Don't die with your music in you, that's about living your dreams. Humility means happy small, how to be happy small.
Happy small means?
I'm humble and I'm happy. Right? Because humility means
Small means to be humble.
I feel small. Small is powerful. False ego, pride is not power. Small is power. Because small means I'm close to Krishna. And pride means I'm far away. And small means Krishna empowers me. Small, when you say happy small, it's like, what does that mean? How could I be happy small? Happy small means the soul is small. So it's just self-realization means you realize you're small. People say, I don't like to be humble. I don't like to feel small, but we are small. The soul is very small. So feeling small is self-realization. Taking responsibility is liberating. Reasons we blame or criticize others. The position of guilt in spiritual life is forgiveness possible before we are pure, and self-compassion. So that's what this book is about. You can see the topics are, well, another interesting thing is that sometimes I'll talk about something and someone will think, oh, you just got that out of some book. It's not in the scripture. But it is, but you have to have the eye to see it. Sometimes it's camouflaged. So this book kind of takes principles that maybe you don't notice, but I believe are important, and it shows you how it's in the scripture. And maybe it doesn't use the same language, but the same principles are there. Like, if I teach about self-love, people will say, well, where's self-love in the scripture? And if you look for it, those words, you might find it one place, they don't, because a lot of the way we describe things today is using modern language that's not traditional in scripture. But in Upanishad, there's a verse that talks about spiritual suicide and using the word atmahana. Atmahana means killing the soul. And killing the soul is an analogy for doing something that's not favorable for our spiritual life. Like having a choice. You could do this, which would be good for your spiritual life, or you could do this, which would be bad. So in a sense, you're killing yourself. You're killing your spiritual life. You're killing the soul. And then there's another word, dvesha, which means, it's sometimes translated as envy, but it means hatred. So sometimes Prabhupada says, if you have an opportunity to advance in your spiritual life, and you don't take advantage of, then you're acting in a way which is it's like you're hating yourself. You're harming yourself. It's like you're working against yourself. It's a form of, hatred. It's kind of an awkward sentence, that I hate myself. But maybe you're not consciously hating yourself, but your action exhibits self-hatred because you're doing something that's harming yourself. So that's where I got the term self-love. Well, the term self-love, of course, is out there in the world. But that's where I said, oh, so Prabhupada is talking about self-love because he's telling us to do what is good for us. And he's calling what is not good for us self-hatred. So, people say, there's no self-love in the scripture. Well, you just have to look. Then Prabhupada is saying, if you serve Krishna, that's in your real self-interest. So he's talking about self-interest. You should take time to do sadhana. So he's talking about self-care. You should care. You should care for your soul. So all these terms can be applied. It's just he doesn't use them exactly that way. So I did that with so many things in scripture. And then you read and go, oh, okay. That's there. So going through all the books, taking little pieces and fragments and then starting to put them together, because they don't come together. They come in stories. Here's a point here, a point here. So you got to take all these points. If you want to do a dissertation on a topic, you got to pick it out from so many places. This verse in the Gita, these stories in the Bhagavatam, these verses Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everywhere, and put it together. And then it's like, oh, okay, now I get the picture. So, there's so many things Prabhupada says in his books that are like, really? He said that? You don't notice because you're reading it in the context of a purport, and maybe it's not the main point of the purport, so it doesn't stick, because it's kind of like it's a sentence. In a purport, it's talking about something else. But if you pull that sentence out with other things he says about it, it's like, wow. So that's kind of what I did. Then the first affirmation book I wrote was an affirmation book on japa. And the reason I wrote that book is because when I was teaching, I was spontaneously coming up with affirmations. I didn't really even know what affirmations were. I just, I kind of knew, but I wasn't an expert. So what became very clear from teaching about chanting was that, as we said the other night, we said, when you chant, the consciousness you begin your chanting with is going to determine the quality of your chanting. So what became evident was that if you're gonna chant well, you need to do some fertilizing of the soil, so to speak. You need to prepare. You have to be in the right mood. What am I doing right now? When we go on the altar, there's mantras we chant. There's a whole list of mantras to get us off the bodily platform and to help us connect with ourselves as a soul and prepare to go on the altar. Now I'm going to be with Krishna. So I don't want to be in the, I just came back from work. I just took a shower. I'm going on the altar. Wait a minute, slow down. You're going to be with Krishna. So you chant these mantras. So I thought, well, the holy name is Krishna. We should do the same thing. So these are like what do they call it? Shuddha buddhi, purifying your mantras to purify your body, purify your consciousness. So the affirmations, what affirmations do is they take a concept and they allow you to feel it. So I'll give you an example. If you read in a book and it says Krishna loves you, that's an idea. It doesn't mean you feel it. But instead of saying Krishna loves you, I say Krishna loves me. Because all of a sudden it's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's personal. So an affirmation would be something like, Krishna loves me. Chanting is beautiful. It's pleasurable. The affirmation, I love to chant. It takes an idea that's kind of out there, floating out there, and it brings it into your heart where you can feel it. I love to chant. Oh, chanting is blissful. I love to chant. Krishna's in his name. I connect with Krishna in his name. So you're setting your mind up, and you're having some experience just by saying it. I don't understand entirely the psychology of it. I only understand it by doing it. It's not like I really understood it before. I don't even know why. I can't even remember why I wrote affirmations. I don't know. It just came to me like that. And then after I wrote them, I said, oh, this is really interesting, because what's happening is we're taking principles from the workshops and putting them into affirmations. Instead of knowing them, we start to feel them. So I honor the holy name as non-different from Radha and Krishna. I welcome the holy names. I welcome Krishna in the form of the holy names into my heart when I chant. It's not it is a philosophical idea, but in this sense, it's an opening of the heart. So that was the idea. So I wrote this book. Actually, one day I came up with these affirmations, or maybe over a period of time. And then I just posted it. And there is a devotee who was at that time living in Sharjah, it's next to Dubai. And he read the affirmations and he was applying them. And he said, my chanting has been transformed. My life has been transformed by these affirmations. He said, why don't you write a book? And writing books is a hassle, actually. It just takes so much time.
Nowadays, it's easy with AI.
Well, if you let AI write it, but I don't think I'll let AI write my books. I don't, yeah, I mean, you can edit it a bit.
Nowadays, everybody's writing a book.
Yeah. But you want to actually, it's like letting AI write a song, but it's not going to write it exactly the way I would write it, But anyway, it's a hassle. Even if you let AI write it, you got to go over it, edit it, organize it, see what you like, rewrite. And this devotee said, you should write a book. And I said, he goes, just record, for each affirmation, record something. And we'll edit it, and I have a friend and he'll publish it. So I said, okay, it sounds easy. So he published. So it wasn't even my idea. He published the book, like 5,000. He printed them, and like sold out. And there was some problem after it sold out, getting it reprinted. And I said, can I just print it? And he said, okay. So then we printed, we just kept printing, and they kept selling out. And then we printed in so Chinese and Spanish, and French, I don't know. I guess I don't know all the languages, Russian. And then last August, not this past August, of 2024, I did a japa workshop. And I had so many other affirmations in my head. So this was like, I don't know, when did we publish this? Doesn't even tell us. At least 10 years ago. So let's say maybe 10, 12. So 10 years after, I'm starting to think, because I taught so many japa workshops, and new things come out when you teach, and I taught higher levels. And I was thinking, should we do a second volume? Or just, it's like you have one and that's it. And then like Covey did the 7 habits, and then he wrote a book called The 8th Habit, I said, so after I taught this workshop, then I sat down. I said, I have like 20 more in my head. So we did it, the workshop ended the day before Janmashtami, and I was in Malaysia, and I, had no service on Janmashtami per se. So I thought, well, maybe this is a good day to write. So I just sat down, and it just came out, all these affirmations came out, and like 5 hours later, the book was done. And then, went back and edited it.
This one?
This one, number 2. 20 more. Japa affirmations 2.0, 20 additional affirmations to take your japa to the next level.
Can we go through some of them?
I am the most fortunate person in the universe because I have the holy name. Therefore, I begin my japa by thanking Krishna for coming to me in the form of his holy name. Thank you, Krishna. It's just a beautiful way to start, as we said yesterday. I am a morning monk. I live like a monk in the early morning by focusing solely on my japa, avoiding any other activity or distractions. So I was giving a class once, and if you don't live in a temple, like how do you do sadhana? I said you should live like a monk, like we do in the temple. You should live like a monk in your house. So from a certain time to a certain time, you just put on, devotional clothes, or put on your monk clothes, or sari or something. Put on your kurta, say, I'm a monk. I'm a monk for the next hour and a half. And then I just do what a monk does. I just chant, study. So that's the idea. I take every round seriously because my spiritual life depends on good quality japa. Thus, I can't afford to chant even one bad round. So that's a good way to start, right? These are like intentions. But if you say them and try to feel them, then if they get into your heart, it becomes more. It can become a way you just chant. You practice this at some point. You don't need the book because you've embodied it. That's the idea. As soon as I chant, Krishna comes and dances on my tongue. Thus, I am careful to respect him in this form by giving him my full attention. I chant in helpless humility, praying, I am fallen, I have no strength. Please accept me. I have no qualifications. I am frail, I am trying, but I am failing. That's a quote from Prabhupada. By praying in this way, my prayers reach Krishna. That's actually a quote from Prabhupada. I am fallen, I think. I have no strength. Please accept me. I have no qualifications. I am frail. I'm trying, but I'm failing. Like I'm trying. Can you help me? I'm failing. I'm trying, Krishna, I'm trying to love you. Can you help me? Because on my own, I can't do it. That's a definition of humility in relation to chanting. I am being surrounded, embraced, and protected by the internal potency when I chant without offense. So it's like if you chant properly, you'll feel like you're in a bubble, and the material world can't touch you. You're like in intensive care or something. It's like, I chant with remorse for having committed nam aparad in the past, asking for forgiveness from the holy name, and making an intention to never allow myself to chant poor quality japa again. So that's remorseful chant. That's from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said, we make many offenses, so we should ask for forgiveness in remorse with the hope that we will stop committing offenses. Just as Krishna personally manifests himself to each gopi in the rasa dance, Krishna is personally manifesting himself to me in his holy names. The name I chant is my personal deity in the form of sound, and I worship this deity by chanting with love. Your little sound incarnation deity. Prabhu, do you have any deities? Yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Those are my deities. I feel Krishna's unconditional love for me and pray to the holy name to help me reciprocate with this love. So the idea is that if you understand that Krishna loves you and you allow yourself to feel his love, you'll naturally want to try to reciprocate. And so when you chant, you'll pray, Krishna, help me love you. Because I want to reciprocate with that love. I just don't want to take it. Right? I chant the holy names, praying to Krishna to help me become qualified to go back to Godhead, knowing that he wants me to come to him at the end of my life. So the idea is that Krishna is waiting for me. He wants me to go back to Godhead, and so I'm chanting so I can become qualified to fulfill that desire of his to go back to Godhead. I can love him. If I love him, I can go back, and that's what he wants. You want me to keep going?
So you can start the workshop, whatever you wanted to say.
These are good. I haven't read these in 2 years. I chant the holy name in the mood of giving myself to Krishna in full surrender, knowing well that whatever I want to achieve is not possible by my own power, but possible by surrendering to Krishna's power. So, to make another person Krishna consciousness or do something to spread Krishna consciousness, we need Krishna's power. So sometimes when we chant, we pray, Krishna, help me become an instrument. The holy name is victorious, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan, and is thus more powerful than any of my anarthas. Thus, I am confident I can become a pure devotee by properly chanting the holy names. This is to remove any doubt that I can become pure, because the holy name is pure. So, it's like if you clean something dirty, with a good cleanser, you'll look at that, you'll never get it clean. No, I have this cleanser. It'll take out the grape juice on your clothes. Oh, I've been trying for a year. Shh. Wow, it's gone. So sometimes we think we're so far away from Krishna that we can't become pure. But Lord Chaitanya said the holy name is victorious, which means it can overcome any impurity. And it's not you that's overcoming the impurity, it's you that's chanting, making the effort to chant properly. And then because you do that, the holy name does everything, like that cleansing, tells you, spray it for 10 minutes, let it dry, spray it again for 10 minutes, put it in the washing machine, hot water, so you didn't really do much, you just sprayed it, but you followed the instructions. So you follow the instructions, you chant with devotion, and then the holy name does everything. I hanker for the day when I will realize Krishna's presence in his name and will gain affection for the name. I intensely long to be free of material desires so that my heart can melt at the chanting of the holy name. So Lord Chaitanya said, Nayanam Garura Shuddharaya, Vandanam Gadgadharudaya. When will my eyes be filled with tears? When my voice choke? When will my hair stand on end? And because this is a symptom of love. So he's saying, when will I love you? But these are the symptoms. When will I have the symptoms of love? So that's this idea. You're chanting Hare Krishna, and this is Krishna. So theoretically, if I'm chanting Hare Krishna, my heart should melt because I'm with Krishna. But sometimes I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
So we're praying, Krishna, when will I feel something? When will this name deeply enter my heart? So these are called sattvika bhav, sattvika, ashtika bhav, 8 symptoms of ecstasy. And so there's different bodily transformations that happen when someone achieves the initial stages of love of Krishna because the emotions are so strong. So the emotions are affecting the body because they're so intense. So you'll cry. You may even roll on the ground. You may choke. You can't. We can understand a little bit, but you can understand theoretically. Your emotions are strong when you have love in this world. Imagine if you have love for Krishna, who's infinitely more beautiful and loving than anyone. It's going to be very strong emotions. So it's like prayer. When will I feel emotion when I chant? I pray to realize that I'm not a master, controller, or enjoyer, but that I exist entirely for the pleasure of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So this is a prayer. So I'm chanting, and the prayer is, Krishna, I'm trying to compete with you. I'm really trying to be with you. I'm really trying to play God. That's my mission in life, is to play God. I want to be great. I want to be famous. I want to be wealthy. I want to be loved. Well, that's God's position. So that doesn't work. If you play God, you suffer. We suffer. So when you come to Krishna consciousness, you learn, stop playing God, because you're not. You are a servant. And if you want to be happy, you will be happy if you serve. But that tendency to play God is deeply ingrained within our heart. It comes out as the desire to enjoy everything we see, to want to be served, to want to be honored, as opposed to offering everything in service to Krishna and respecting everyone. So when we're chanting, we're praying that desire, which is the pure desire of the soul, it awakens. It's there, the desire is there. And we're praying for it to awaken in our heart. I regularly reflect on the quality of my japa with the intention of correcting bad japa practices, and implementing good practices. So that's just an awareness when I'm chanting. If I'm not chanting well, I should do something. It's like when you're reading and you're spacing out, then you go, I don't, thinking of something else. You become aware of it, and you have to reread what you just did. Sometimes I'll chant and the round is so bad, it's like, don't count it. It's not worth it. It's like a page I read, but I didn't read. I will not cause anxiety to any living entity, neither by my mind nor words, regardless of how insignificant those living beings may be. So, this is Krishna says, one who doesn't cause anxiety to anyone is very dear to me. So this can be detraction from being able to chant purely. It's like what Chaitanya said, you have to be humble to chant. So part of being humble is respecting and being compassionate. I understand that Maya is after my japa and will do everything in her power to cause me to minimize the importance of japa in my life. I do not fall for her tricks. I know that Krishna will protect my bhakti if I chant 16 good rounds. So this is just to bring awareness that when you try to become Krishna conscious, you're basically trying to overcome all the conditioning that's developed in many, many lives. And you're trying to kind of like go against the tide, go upstream. And good japa will empower you to do that. But in this world, there is the material energy known as Maya, and Maya's job is to try to deter you. And why would she do that? To make you stronger. That's why she does it. So this is just to bring awareness, as we probably already know, that when we're trying to chant, it's very easy to lose concentration. It's very easy to put your beads down and say, I'll chant later. And that's Maya trying to discourage you. And so they said, Maya, especially if you try to improve it, when you ever try to improve something and the next day you do it worse than you've ever done. So some weird law like that goes on. But it happens in spiritual life, that sometimes you become very determined and material energy fights back. You fight and it fights. So it's just an awareness that you really have to try when you chant, to try well. Because Maya, the material energy, will try to tell you it's too difficult, do it later, you don't really like it, how do you know it works, and whatever. And the last one, I care about myself too much to allow myself to chant poor quality japa. So this is an affirmation that actually came up in our self-care course. And one of the things, we have this book, Self-Care Affirmations. So I can tell you how this last affirmation relates to self-care. What I realized in the self-care course is sometimes I say, I don't care, you say, you should eat this. I know it's good for me, but I don't really care. I know I should chant, or I know I should chant better, but what's at the bottom of this is not that I don't care about chanting. At the bottom of this, one level lower than I don't care, is I don't care enough about myself and my spiritual life to care enough to chant. So we think I don't like chanting, so I don't care. There's a stage below that. I don't care enough about my own soul, my own salvation to want to chant. So that's where self-care comes in. So a lack of self-care says I don't care. Self-care says I care. I am valuable to me. I am worth taking care of. Every time you say, I know I should go to the gym, but I don't care. I know I should read this book, but I don't care. I know I should get up early, but I don't care. Every time you say I don't care, you're enforcing that you don't care enough about yourself to do what's best for yourself. So if you want to be able to improve your japa, then you have to care enough about yourself and specifically your spiritual life to be able to do it. And so it sometimes might be difficult, but because you care about yourself, you'll do it. So that's where this book comes in. Self-care affirmations. So what we realize by teaching this course is that self-care is a fundamental part of spiritual life. Prabhupada said, save yourself before you save other people. So it's not selfish, but we take care of ourselves spiritually, then we can show up better for everybody. So this means material care, financial care, emotional care, mental care, and spiritual care. And when you care more about yourself, you will do the right thing. Krishna's in our heart, and Krishna talks to us. And a lot of times he tells us what to do, but we don't want to listen to it. So we say something like, I know I should do that, but I don't feel like it. That's Krishna telling us, this is what you should do. This will be good for you. And so when you have more self-care, you listen to that voice. And it's interesting. There's a offense, aparad is an offense. There's a pragya, intelligence. An offense to our intelligence. It's like we're offending our intelligence when our intelligence says, you should do this, but we don't do it. Or you could say it's like an offense to Krishna within our heart, who's giving us intelligence, saying, you should do this. And we say, I don't care. So self-care is very important. This course, this book is just the principles from the course. And again, when you say an affirmation, it gets in your heart from your head. And people who have taken this course said, this is one of the most self-care is one of the most transforming concepts. And it's something that's just kind of like, it's so obvious, but it's so difficult to like see how it's obvious. So when you read this book, you'll see how obvious. Should I read it for you? You get an idea, I'll read it for you. Self-care is foundational to my spiritual advancement and empowers me to be and do my best because I care. When in the morning here at the temple, we chant, we do Mangal Arati. This is all self-care. It looks like puja, and it looks like kirtan and chanting, but fundamentally it's self-care. It's for us to nurture our spiritual life. I care for, accept, love, and show compassion to myself because I value myself and my Krishna consciousness. I replenish myself as needed. In other words, I take care not to burn out. I save myself first. I trust and respect myself by living in integrity with my values and thus act as my best friend. This is huge. You know what happens when you don't live in integrity with your values. You suffer like anything because you know you should have done this and you didn't. So I had a realization long ago that one of the worst things I could do to myself is not live according to my values because I will torture myself. I will feel full of guilt and shame because I know I should be doing something because I deeply believe it and because I value it, I want to be that thing. Whatever you value, you want. That's when you say you value it, it's because you want to be that, isn't it? I want to embody that in my life. And if we don't do it, we feel horrible. So if I actually care about myself, wouldn't I try to live my values? Of course. I'll read it again. I trust and respect myself by living in integrity with my values, and thus act as my best friend. I respect myself. So if you respect yourself, you'll be aligned with your values. Is that interesting? Krishna loves me despite my faults and sins. I open my heart and receive and accept his love. And I give myself the same love and affection that he gives me. So this is so beautiful. I mean, I could spend about 3 hours just on this one. But I'll give you an idea. Self-love it's an interesting topic, and a lot of people don't have it. A lot of people have low self-esteem. A lot of people don't like themselves. A lot of people abuse themselves, put themselves down, and so forth. When we understand that Krishna loves us, although we don't deserve it, why would he love? What did I do? You're his son, you're his daughter. That's what you did. You didn't have to earn it. It comes from him. It's not something you have to achieve. It's already there. You just have to get it. So if I accept Krishna's love, then it's easy to love myself, because if I know he loves me, it's hard to hate yourself when you know God loves you, right? When you feel his love, it's hard to hate yourself. And then, how this comes back to japa, if I feel Krishna's love, if I actually feel it, then I want to reciprocate. So in bhakti, in devotion, it's really hard to evolve in devotion if you don't allow yourself to feel Krishna's love, because bhakti is a reciprocation. Krishna loves you, you love him. If you don't think God loves you, it's really hard to love him, isn't it? It's hard to love somebody if they don't love you, right? So this is part of self-care, to accept Krishna's love, even if you don't think you're qualified. Give that love to yourself and give that love back to Krishna. And then, this beautiful book, Marriage Affirmations. Who is this book for? Pretty much everybody who is going to have, well, not, I say pretty much everybody, because most everyone has a relationship or is married. What this book is based on a workshop my wife and I teach. My wife is a marriage counselor, so I took the main principles from that workshop, and put them into affirmations. So basically, this is the workshop, and also this is basically the workshop in affirmations. But in a sense, it's better that they're in affirmations. So all the main principles is, of what you need to embody to have an amazing relationship. If you actually did everything in this book, you'd probably be in the top 10 percentile of good relationships. Seriously. These are principles these principles came out of studies of what works in relationships. So it embodies, it's not just some idea, but it's actually researched. So we took those principles and we put them into affirmations. And this is really good. You and your partner read these together and you try to imbibe them. And you're going to have an amazing relationship. One that lasts more than, what's the average lifespan of a marriage these days? 10 years, 7 years? So it'll last, yeah. If the husband and wife, the man and woman, if they embody these principles, then they'll have an amazing relationship. And the course we taught was based on, it was based on seeing how, as you know, how difficult relationships are. Relationships, men and men, women and women, those are easy, because men understand men and women understand women. You put a man and woman together, they don't understand one another. Sometimes, it's like, guys are thinking, my wife will never understand me. And the women are thinking, my husband, he has no idea what I feel. Hare Krishna. So we wanted to teach the course to an 8. It's like my daughter was raised, like if my daughter looks at a clock, we have a clock here? There's a clock somewhere. Right here. Yeah. Like when she was young and she looked at that clock, she said, what time is, I can't tell the time, because she was raised with digital clocks. So it's like having a relationship with the opposite sex is like, what is that? You have to learn to tell it. So you have to learn things. And this book helps you learn and understand, and it's really good.
It's too late
now. What?
25 years of marriage.
Can we just let him do RT behind the curtain or something? He can start RT and then we come in later.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying
it's too late if you're already married.
In my marriage life.
No, not too late. You'll upgrade it. Guarantee your money back. It'll upgrade existing. Yeah. No, the thing is, it takes you like 25 years just to figure out, what to figure out to stop doing all the things you do wrong. And this will help you realize all the other things you haven't realized you're doing. So this is really good. I wish I had this when I was married, and I wish everyone who got married would have this. It would make their marriage easier and better. Because there's a lot of things that we don't know that need to be done in a marriage to make it work. And a lot of things we don't know about our partner. And this helps you with that. So like a lot of times we fight just because we're different. And we think we're right, but we're just different. And we're not making space for the difference. So this helps. And then this book, Uplift Yourself, Change the World. I had been studying psychology and self-development for many years. And so what we did is all the things that I was writing over those years, we put excerpts from it in this book. So these are like little mantras. And then we divided them by topic. So in each section, you get little sutras.
So how that book is different from this?
Because they were supposed to print that, and they went to a new printer and they printed a bigger one.
So the book's
And when-
content is same, right?
It's the same. And when I got to India, it's like, why is this so big? Yeah, I like that one bigger. And that one's lighter. So it's a lot of spiritual self-development. But little sayings, like you can see in the book, they're just little, like 2 or 3 sentence sayings. Should I read some? This is about facing your ego. That's the chapter. Facing your ego, I think. Let's see what the chapter is. Oh, chapter 7, getting off center stage, how to subdue an ego that can ruin you. The ego is often invisible to us, but very visible to everyone else. We may not see it, but we see through it. We act through what we call false ego. We act through it, but we don't see it, but everyone else sees it. So it's just like ponder. Oh, you just read one, you can just take one thought with you for the whole day and ponder it. Write it down, look at it. The ego's purpose is not to be enlightened, but to be noticed and recognized, to be in the center and to be praised. Yes? Ego has a big appetite. The more you feed it, the more it wants to eat. It has an almost unquenchable hunger and void. So there are little sayings about the ego. We have sayings about forgiveness. We have sayings about guilt and how it harms you. Taking control of your life. Karma, free will and karma. Yeah, like that. So it's nice meditations. So you can get all these books after class on that table. And if you like, I'll hang around and sign them for you. Hare Krishna. Now, would you like to do a little meditation, japa meditation? Do we have enough beads for everybody, or we need to get more? We're going to pass out beads. So while he's passing out the beads, I will describe what we're going to do. We're going to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and I'm going to guide you and put you in a certain space or place before we chant. And yesterday we had spoken, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, we spoke about how you have more beads or not? More beads are coming. Just now coming. How do you say just now coming in Hindi? You don't say. Just now coming, and you say that in Hindi? Something
coming in.
Like, just wait a minute.
For wait a minute, we can say ruk jao. Ruk jao.
Ruk jao?
Ruk jao.
Ruk jao. And just now coming?
Abhi aa jao.
Abhi aa jao. Yeah, abhi aa jao. Api
Abhi Aja.
aja. Api aja.
Okay.
Like come forward, आगे आ जाओ.
No, not come forward. The bees are coming.
अभी आ रहे हैं.
Abhi,
It's अभी आ रहे हैं.
abhi areha. Just not coming. So, you raise your hand if you need beads. We have more. Everyone should have a set of beads. So I'm going to just give you the focus of this meditation. If you haven't chanted on beads, you just hold. You start not with you start. My beads are
So
broken.
everybody has beads?
You hold them like this.
Okay, so these beads are, if you want to buy it, you can buy it then, otherwise just keep it here on the table at the end.
So when we start chanting, you'll chant like that. You chant the Maha Mantra, which is on the board there. You chant that on each bead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and you go to the next bead. So before we do that, last night we were talking about this mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, is a prayer. And so the consciousness, when we chant, is the same consciousness you would be in when you come to a temple and pray, or come to church or mosque, whatever. The consciousness of prayer is it's kind of like you come in a state of, I need help. This is what I need help with, and you pray. So that's what we're going to do when we're chanting. That's the mood we're going to express through our heart when we chant the mantra. But what to pray for? When you chant, when you say Hare Krishna, Krishna comes to you, because Krishna is his name. And so you say Hare Krishna, and Krishna says to you, yes, you called me, what do you want? And so we express what we want through the mantra. But because this is bhakti or devotion, we're not expressing anything material we want. We're expressing spiritual, what do we want? So we want to love Krishna, we want maybe to become more humble, more pure, more gentle, more in the service mood. We want to deflate our ego. There's so many things we could ask Krishna. So it's kind of like thinking, if God came to you and said, what do you want? What would you ask for? You can't ask for a new car and a new house and a better job. You could, but that's not the purpose of chanting. We don't chant to ask for those things. We chant to come closer. We want to come closer to Krishna. So sometimes when we're chanting, we pray, Krishna, please help me become more humble or kind or gentle or tolerant or forgiving. Or we pray, Krishna, please remove my anger, remove my intolerance, remove my pride. Whatever you feel. And then you express that from your heart as an emotion, and you put that emotion into the Maha Mantra. So before you begin to chant, think about what you want to pray for. And try to hold that emotion while you're chanting, and if you lose it, just stop chanting for a minute, and then come back and remember what you're praying for. So this is, the Maha Mantra is called Chintamani. Chintamani is a stone, spiritual stone, which gives you whatever you ask for. So you could ask God for a mansion and a Maserati and whatever, but He can give you much better things than that. He can give you love, which is infinitely greater than anything material. And Krishna wants your love, and He wants a relationship. So we pray for these things. So think about what you would like to pray for, and then when you are ready, you can start chanting. And we'll just chant for a little bit, and I'll tell you when we're going to stop. Can we do it? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram Ram Krishna 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Krishna. Okay, so every day you can pray to Krishna for something that you need through the holy name, and it's very powerful. So if you'd like to do that and you don't have beads, then just wear them on your neck, and then after the RT, how much are they? How much are the beads?
$10. 10.
10. If you like to get the beads, they're $10. And if not, you can put them back here. But if, as I said yesterday, if you do this every day, your life will be much different. Or we'll give you your $10 back. So we'll have our team.
Anybody has any questions?
Any questions? Questions about what you experienced while you were chanting? Yes?
Prabhuji, I missed your lecture, but you were talking about ego, and I have this question a lot of time.
Okay.
Whenever you do meditation, what I personally try to do is calm myself and think ego is something exterior or coming from material world. But when you try to and calm yourself too much, people will start taking your advantage. But then you try to bring the ego back, then you would think you're becoming more materialistic.
Well, in the Gita, Krishna distinguishes two things: real ego and false ego. Because the word ego, it's misused in modern language, because the ego just means the self. So when we say false ego, we mean the body. It's a false identity. And so, what comes along with the body is defense, protection, competition, and so forth. And then the real ego, that's the soul, which is servant. So we definitely don't want to annihilate the real ego. And the problem with being humble within the corporate culture is the corporate culture is in Rajas or Tamas. Then you can't be sattvic. But many corporations today realize that sattva guna is the guna in which you'll be most successful. And maybe we misunderstand humility, but let's look at an aspect of humility. An aspect of humility would be that you listen when you get feedback. You listen to people when they have problems. You listen to input from juniors. That's all. So that's all good, right? And another aspect of humility means you understand that your success is going to come from the intelligence Krishna gives you. So there are ways to work with in that environment in a humble way, but not necessarily in a way that you will lose your power. Because you can find real power in humility. But you have to understand how. And if someone's acting out of false ego towards you, then that tempts you to act out of false ego, so then they degrade you. But if you remain calm and peaceful, they won't degrade you, and then you're actually more powerful. You're stable. You're not thrown around by everything. So you're in a better position. So humility doesn't mean that people would take advantage of you, that you would not have boundaries and so forth. But humility means you're respectful. You honor others, you respect others. You don't think you're better than everybody. So that's all a powerful way of being. If others, want to compete and not, you don't play those games. If I were in charge of a company, I would promote the people who don't play those games and fire the ones who do. If you have a toxic company, then the people with the big egos will rise up. You might want to find another company someday. Or you might want to invite me in, tell them to invite me in, and I'll talk about sattva guna and how that'll make your company better and people happier. Anyway, it's an idea, something. Arjuna was very humble, and he was a kshatriya, and he was killing. Doesn't look like a person who's killing is humble. But if you're defending your nation from terrorism and attack, you're humbly serving your nation by killing. Or the police are humbly serving their city. And sometimes they may have to kill or arrest, or it doesn't look humble at all. So you can redefine humility within a context. I'm doing it to serve, not out of false ego. That's humility. And so, if you're serving in a company and somebody's doing something that's detrimental to the company, you could humbly correct that or humbly report that. But because that humility is, well, I'm being paid to help this company, and I see that somebody's doing something that's undermining the well-being of the company. So that's humble, to try to stop it. So it's a consciousness. If I'm in the consciousness of service, I'm humble. Because you don't, when you go out into the world, you don't want to give up your spiritual qualities and adapt to that world. You want to see how to maintain them while in the world. So it's a bit of an art to know how to do that. But that's what we want. That's what we want to do. And sometimes when there's a toxic culture and people are offending one another, then it's just a place where you have the opportunity to practice tolerance. So that's a spiritual practice. People are harassing me, I get to practice tolerance. So the workforce can be a good place for that, right? Practice not controlling your anger, your frustrations, patience, being kind to people who aren't kind to you. These are all spiritual practices. So a lot of people say, I can't practice spiritual life at work, but actually you see there's opportunities all the time. If you're dealing with customers and they're obnoxious customers, you practice being kind. This world is a great place to practice spiritual life. There's opportunities all the time. You'll have people that will speak against you for no reason. Now you have the opportunity to practice tolerance or kindness, even to those who aren't kind. I mean, practicing kindness to those who are kind is not a great practice. But practicing kindness to those who aren't kind, that's the real practice. So there's plenty of people who won't be kind. So you just go out in the world, there's opportunities to practice. So Krishna says so many things in the Gita. We should be tolerant, we should be equal poised, we should not be disturbed by happiness and distress or success or failure. He's just describing what goes on in the material world and telling us how to deal with it. So when you go out there, you really have opportunity to live the Bhagavad Gita, even though you may not have looked at it that way. But life gives you an opportunity to live the Gita, because Krishna is talking about how not to be pulled around by anger and repulsion and attraction and duality. And that's what this world is made of, it's duality, right? People trigger us all the time. So what is spiritual practice? Don't fight back. Fight back with kindness. They throw harshness, fight back with kindness. Then you're practicing spiritual. And you'll have lots of opportunities, won't you? Like all the time. Yes? All the time. And then sometimes the tolerance you have to practice is tolerating yourself, tolerating your own negativity, your impatience, tolerating your impulses to act improperly. So that's also tolerance, not just tolerating other people. Okay, good. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'd like to thank His Grace Mahatma Prabhu for visiting Thunder Bay for last 3 days. Let's give a big round of applause to Mahatma Prabhu. So the last 3 days, Mahatma Prabhu taught us some important principles of meditation, japa chanting, and on the first day, he taught us about how Mahamantra is not different than Krishna himself. So when we are chanting Mahamantra, it is we are associating with Krishna. And he gave us an analogy that we would not throw any holy book or would ignore any holy book. Similarly, we cannot ignore Krishna while we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So literally when we are chanting Krishna, Krishna is coming and sitting next to us. So we have to be very attentive and consider this as a most important gift for us as a human form of life, that we can chant this mantra and we have this opportunity to chant it. Second day we talked about how we have to create an environment, internal and external environment, to make it conducive for chanting. So before we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we sit in an environment like in a temple or in a holy place, dhama, and the environment itself that is external environment. It has a positive impact on your chanting. At the same time, then we give positive suggestions, affirmations to ourselves, which helps us to create an internal environment as well. So, and then we feel every sound vibration, Hare, Krishna, Rama. Every word creates a vibration, so we try to feel the vibration. And at the same time, we chant with the heart. So we chant on the physical platform, on the mental platform, but most important thing is chanting is a prayer, which means that we are talking with Krishna while we are chanting. So we cannot be inattentive while chanting because we are talking with Krishna. We are communicating with Krishna. So that is what we talked about it yesterday. And Prabhuji today highlighted about various affirmations from his books. So all those books, they have exercises. Some of the books have exercises. So if you read the books, then you can improve upon chanting. And again, as Prabhuji emphasized, it is about self-care. If you care about yourself, then you chant. If you don't care about yourself, then that's up to you to decide. But chanting is for your spiritual self. As we feed our body because we care our body. Similarly, you feed your soul if you really care about your soul. This is the only chance, human form of life. You may not get it again. So we are very grateful to Prabhuji, Mahatma Prabhu, for coming all the way and blessing all of us. Very small, as Prabhuji used the word small. So we are small town, small people. Thunder Bay is a very small town, is that right?
Yeah.
Small means good, actually. Small means Krishna will love.
If this were India, I don't think it would even register as a town. It's too small, right?
Thunder Bay is too small. Nobody wants to come here. And that is good, actually. So we have a quiet environment here. We love a small thing. So
I come from where I live, same size. I live 20 minutes from a university town, Gainesville, which is 100,000, but the town I live in is 8,000. So I live in a smaller town than you do. And 10% of the people in that town are devotees.
You're small in
More
the
or less.
sense there is nothing around us for 8 hours. Winnipeg is the
Oh,
closest
yeah,
city.
right, yeah.
So we are isolated. We are in middle of nowhere. So that's good, actually. So nobody disturbs us, right? Perfect place for chanting.
You're in the middle of nowhere, but when you're chanting, you're in the spiritual world, which is the middle of everywhere.
So thank you, Prabhuji, for blessing us. May you come again and again and bless us all. Let's give again a big round of applause to
If Krishna wants, I'll be back. We'll see what he wants.
Prabhuji is leaving tomorrow morning to Toronto. Originally, he was supposed to go to Toronto and not supposed to come to Thunder Bay. But Krishna wanted, and so it happened, and he's here. So we'll do Aarti. After Aarti, we'll take a group picture with Prabhuji here while we are all here. Or should we take it before? Before some people disappear.
Yeah, take it now.
Take it now, right?
How should we do it?
Because some of them might disappear. So let's stand here in front of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji will stand in the middle And we'll take a group picture and then we'll do Aarti and Prashad. Is that okay?
No. We'll do Arti, then you buy all my books. Then you take Prasad.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hi, please stand here in front of Srila Prabhupada.